Hey guys, Matt Kentucky Range Time, back in the shop with another project, and we're kind of doing a shop project gear review here today, and we're going to be starting with this Smith & Wesson Model-69 Combat Magnum. This is an L-frame revolver, 5-shot in 44 mag, and I've been using this in a lot of my ballistic gel block tests. XS Big Dot reached out to me via email several weeks back, said they had seen some of my revolver content on the YouTube channel and wanted to know if I would be interested in trying out a new product that they're getting ready to bring to market. And so they have created a new line of sights for several different models of revolver, and the L-frame revolver for Smith & Wesson is one of those. And so the options they had, I selected the tritium front sight with the big white bold dot on it, and the plain rear sight. And so they went ahead and sent these over to me along with a t-shirt, and in exchange I'm going to be doing some videos and some media content. All right, and let's get turned around and get the camera set up, and we'll get started on this on the changing out these sights. All right, so we'll start out by unpacking the sights here and seeing exactly what all's in this box. Looks like they've got a sample pack of Lucas Extreme Duty gun oil here in the back, and an XS sticker, a little postcard in here, tech support, questions, reviews, and let me get down to the sights. So here's the features: iron sights built for front sight focus, fast acquisition when seconds count, dual illumination front for reliable glow, engineered testing machine in Fort Worth, Texas, US made, guys, there you go. Contact support, XS team, they got a QR code down here for newsletters and updates and installation tips. That's what I'm doing. And here's the front end of this. There's also a QR code for the installation instructions. And here are our sights. So here's this rated rear sight. Here is the XS Big Dot front sight. And so that is dual illuminated. That is, it's got a tritium vial inserted in there. And then here is a tube of Loctite. Screws, hardware, a pin for the front sight, and the replacement strap for the rear sight. All right, guys, so that's what was in the package. All right, so we're going to start out by removing the front blade sight and the rear sight off. This is pretty simple. Got one blade screw right here. That out. That screw actually puts tension. It's there at an angle. It's bent intentionally, and this screw creates tension that always holds the rear part of the sight up against the top of the frame. And then as you make adjustments up and down with this screw, it works against the tension on that. So that screws out. This just slides away, and here is the old sight assembly. I'm going to set that aside. Next up, we've got the front blade sight. And we're going to take a pin punch. And punch this out. Looks like I need a smaller pin punch. All right, let me go find one. All right, in lieu of having a smaller pin punch, a piece of paper clip can work miracles too. So there's the pin. Actually was not very tight at all. All right, and then with the pin out, okay, so we've moved this sight back just a little bit right here at the front. Get it to focus in here. And should be able to take a screwdriver now and stick in here and pry this up. This thing is actually in here pretty snug, so. All right, so that's the front blade sight removed. And of course, we'll start now on reversing it and getting the new one in. I'll go ahead and clean everything in this channel before I start installation with the new sight. So we got the old sight out, we got the channel cleaned out here, and now we're getting ready to go in with the new sight. I'm not going to mess with opening up. I like keeping these little packets of oil in my kit bags and stuff. Kind of a one-time use deal, and I've got actually several of them up here. But I do have some Lucas oil already on the bench, and what I want to do is I'm just going to put a drop of that right here on this sight. Just to help ease this thing in. And then I'm going to take this plastic mallet and gently work that back in there. I'll use the paper clip here to confirm that everything is in alignment. And you might need to wiggle this back and forth or up and down a little bit as you start actually inserting the pin back into it. Looks like these pins are about the same length. And I'm going to go back in with the factory pin instead of the one sent with it because it looks like it's a stainless pin. I'm not going to get too carried away putting this pin back in. I want to make sure that it lines up right with the sight and actually goes all the way through, which it looks like it did. And we'll drive it down just to where it's flush. All right guys, so there's the front sight installed. And let's move back here to the rear side. All right, so we've got the new strap here, and it's going to fit right back in place with these two holes here lining back up with the holes in the frame. And it's these two screws here, and then the rear sight is going to slide over that, and this hole here is going to line up, and this last screw with a hex head on it will go in here. All right, so that's pretty well in there. And so I was actually test fitting all this to make sure how it all went together. And now I'm going to pull this back out and apply the Loctite that they sent, because we don't want these coming loose. All right, guys, there it is. That's the new XS sights. And like I said, we'll be taking this out to the range and actually running it on the range here in a little bit to see how it's going to do. So the one thing I noticed right off the bat is there is no windage or elevation adjustment with this sight. And you know, at close distance that may not be an issue, but we'll make sure this thing is actually, we'll shoot it off of a bag to make sure it is in alignment, and then we'll actually run this on the steel plates a little bit while we're out there. So all right, guys, there it is, the new XS big dot sights for the revolvers. All right, guys, so that wraps up the XS big dot sight installation on this Smith & Wesson Combat Magnum. This is a Model 69 L-frame revolver, and as you can see here, if I can get this over here good, take a look at these sights. So it's got the serrated rear sight, it's got the high-vis front sight with the tritium tube in it, and you know, this thing is, we'll get this out to the range and give it a try here pretty soon and see what it does. But you know, I'm excited to test this. The only surprise I had when XS contacted me about installing and testing this site and doing some content for them, I was pretty excited about that. They only had 2 options to pick from on the sides, and this is the one I selected, and there is no windage or elevation adjustment to this rear sight. So I'm looking forward to getting this thing to the range and actually checking this thing out at 15-20 yards on paper and seeing how accurate these sights are. If these things line up, then absolutely we'll be tickled to death on it. But if for some reason this thing's pulling to the left or the right, well, like these sights are set, there's no way of adjusting any of that out of it. So the range test will let us know what's going on there, and hopefully I'll be able to get out sometime this coming week and do that range test and have that video coming up pretty close to this one as well. So all right, guys, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button on this video, and I would appreciate that. Leave me a comment, thumbs up, a thumbs down, you know, good comment, a bad comment. Either way, it's a comment, and that actually helps the metrics that YouTube uses to keep these videos out there. So all right, guys, you know me, I do what I do, and I don't really worry about it beyond that. And you know, the only person I really have to please at the end of the day is myself. And so as always, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.